Today's topic is differences between engineering and physiological control system. In this topic, we'll discuss few key differences between engineering and physiological control system. The first difference is that engineering control systems are designed to accomplish and define tasks, and all their parameters are finely tuned. So because of this, the system will perform its task in an optimal manner. Whereas considering the physiological control system, they serve as versatile, which means that they can do several different functions. For example, we know that the primary purpose of our respiration is that it will provide gaseous exchange, but the secondary is that it can also facilitate the elimination of heat from our body. So the second key difference is the engineering control system, and this is all the synthesis by the designer, and all its characteristics is generally known. But whereas for the other hand, physiological control system is usually it consists of all the components, they are unknown, and it is very difficult to analyze. So the third key difference is that the physiological control system will exhibit an extensive degree of cross coupling. So this cross coupling, we stated that it has different interaction and for different physiological systems. So these are the two differences. The third one is the cross coupling or interaction among different physiological systems. So they have interaction among different physiological systems. So this is the third key difference. So for example, if we consider a cardiovascular system, it is highly dependent on other system, and it is also having interaction with other systems. For example, even if we see the circulatory system, we have lungs, so which means that it has an cross coupling or interaction with the respiratory system, or renal system, endocrine system, and other organs also, other systems also. So here we'll to just know the example, we'll deal with the basic example like muscle stretch reflex. So this muscle stretch reflex, the basic example, it has been very clearly explained in the another video, muscle stretch reflex video, that you can see in our channel itself. So now we'll again consider that example. So here we'll have the schematic diagram, that is the modified version of the muscle stretch reflex model. So here we can see that there are two newer blocks. So if we go to the block diagram, and this is so if you see, this is the basic block that we have discussed in the previous video lecture, and in this video we can see that there are three more new boxes. Okay, so this blocks will contribute to the interrelated system or cross coupling system. So they also interact with the basic muscle stretch reflex model. So here if you see, we have a muscle spindle. So this spindle will so we have a muscle spindle. So this spindle will send the feedback signal to the spinal cord. So this spinal cord will increase the afferent neural signal, and it is given back to the thigh muscles. So the thigh muscle will subsequently will produce the contraction, and this contraction will offset the initial stretch that has been provided earlier. Now we'll see the interaction of other extensor muscles also. So the interaction of this other extensor muscles will block the thigh flexor muscles also. So first, some of the branches of the afferent nerves will sign up with the motor neurons. So this will cause other extensor muscles in the thigh also to act with the primary muscles. So primary muscles here are the thigh extensor muscles. So this thigh extensor muscles will straighten our lower leg. So second, what happens is that the other branches of the afferent nerve fibers will again they interact with the interneuron. This interneuron will again sign up with the motor neurons, and they will have an impact over the thigh flexor muscles. So however, here these interneurons are introducing a small polarity change in the signal, so that increasing the afferent neuron signal will produce the decrease in the efferent neural traffic, and that is given to the flexor muscles. So this mechanism will have an effect of relaxing the flexor muscles, so they do not have any contraction with the activity of the extensor muscles. In whatever way, the other physiological control systems will have the interaction. So by this we can say that the cross-coupling nature of the physiological control system will serve as a good example to showcase this property. So the next property is that physiological control systems are generally adaptive in nature, that is they possess the adaptive characteristic. So here adaptive means the system is able to offset any type of change in the output, not only by the feedback but also for the change in the controller characteristics. So this is clearly understood again by this muscle stretch reflex example. So let us imagine a situation where we voluntarily flex our knee. So the higher centers will send the signal down as the alpha motor neurons. So this will increase the contraction of the flexor muscle and at the same time relaxation of the extensor muscle. So your flexor muscles will start to contract and your extensor muscles will start to relax. So the higher centers will simultaneously now send two type of signal. One is the alpha motor neuron, another one is the gamma effector signals. So this muscle spindle gets innervated and the gamma signals will produce the effect, that is they reset the original length of the muscle spindle. So this will voluntarily induce the stretch in the extensor muscles and it will move to the long for which we have detected. So by employing this adaptive type of arrangement to the muscle stretch reflex, so this type of effect is basically neutralized. So this you can betterly understood this characteristic by just having an imagination by giving a short tap over your muscle stretch reflex, and you can see the adaptivity nature. So that is one of the situation that we can imagine. So that is for one situation, light tap is given to the patellar of your knee and you can see what happens to your knee muscle. Another situation is that when you voluntarily flex your knee, you can understand what happens. So the second case will be best suited for this adaptive characteristic. So the thing is that higher centers will send two types of signal. One is the alpha motor neuron activity and another one is the gamma efferent signals. So this will have an effect for resetting the original length of the muscle. So this will voluntarily induce stretch and it will not be detected by the muscle spindle. So it justifies the adaptive nature characteristic of the physiological control system. So thank you.